It was a normal afternoon in Coolsville. A woman walks her dog down the street. But all of a sudden, she passes through a series of bushes. And the next thing she knows, her dog is gone. Welcome to Mysteries in the Machine.
Meddling kids. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Ethan.
I don't know how to podcast anymore.
Charlie, you were doing your best.
I just want to talk to my friend. Okay?
Fair.
I just like talking to my friend, and then we decided to watch this episode, and I'm regretting every minute.
Yeah, folks, we're just stalling at this point. We are 5 episodes into Scooby-Doo, and we already have to deal with cultural appropriation and racism. We love that.
I want to be like, I feel like this isn't even the worst that we get of it,
It's the worst so far.
It certainly is the worst so far. Yeah, it is. Oh boy. Well, Decoy for a Dognapper.
There were bits of it with the statues early on, but now
True.
we get a full-on antagonist based off of this.
I mean, saying that there is a statue in a museum, it's a museum. That's where things are gonna be.
Yeah, that's where things are.
You know.
Yep.
This is just like, why did we need to do this?
It's a great question, and one that I do not have the answer to.
I'm also okay. I do want to preface that, like, I was trying to figure out what the heck they were talking about here, because I don't know a lot about Native American history.
I don't either.
I don't. Folks, let us also preface: we are 2 white people, super white people.
We are,
yeah. So we probably should not be the ones, like, doing all this stuff. But I'm like, I want to educate myself on what the heck is happening.
Mm-hmm.
And so they keep referencing Geronimo, and I'm like, oh, I've heard that from, like, popular culture constantly.
Yeah, but he was a real person.
He is a real person, but they're also saying that this Native American person who's here was from 1,000 years ago. And that's what, like, confuses the shit out of me. They said that several times in this episode.
I think you can chalk that up to the writers not wanting to really do research into anything.
Yeah.
And just
apparently.
have that, like, as set dressing, I guess.
Yeah, it's some weird set dressing. This man Geronimo only died in 1909.
Yeah.
Like
60 years before this episode came out.
Like, bro, what is going on here? I'm very confused.
I don't fucking know. The writers didn't know either. We can press on.
Yeah. I just wanted to be like, what is happening? I'm very confused. But they were also very confused because they don't know anything. They know less than me.
White men wrote this. They don't know anything.
White men from the 60s. They knew nothing.
They know even less
than regular white men from today.
Not like we've gotten much better, but
Ethan, at least you've seen the Barbie movie.
I have. This is true.
The white men from the 60s could never.
No.
They would never.
Nope.
It's not possible.
Not even once. Unless, maybe the gay men from the 60s would. I don't think a straight man from the 60s would.
It's true. You do have one up on all of these people because you are also a queer.
I am indeed.
All right. Let's talk about Scooby-Doo. Let's talk about the happy parts of Scooby-Doo, at least a little bit.
Yes. So beginning the episode, Scooby is out on a walk by himself, which he's
a sentient dog. He can do what he wants.
He is, but that still means that, like, city zoning laws still apply to him because he's a dog. And in most towns and cities, you have to have a dog on a leash when they're, like, not in a dog park.
See, I've never been a dog owner, so I don't I don't actually know.
No, it's a real
Rules for
thing.
dogs. Interesting.
It's a real
interesting.
thing.
Scooby is like never on a leash, like except for this episode. This is the first time we've ever seen him on a leash.
Well, even then, it was just because they wanted to trick the Dognappers into thinking he was a different dog.
Yeah, he is an anthropomorphic animal. He does not need to be on a leash.
Yeah. He's a dog that knows he's a dog and can talk. And he also speaks dog, but we'll get to that later.
I have a joke about that. He's bilingual.
We love that.
Yeah.
We love that.
All right, so Scooby is like, oh, look, there's a cute female dog over there. I'm gonna go flirt with her and give her some flowers. But
yes, because that's what dogs like. Flowers.
You know, this works with some of Scooby's later on girlfriends. Okay?
Fair enough. But this is like a regular, like, toy poodle.
I mean, the problem here is that she's a show dog, so she's, like, really stuffy. So she doesn't care about Scooby.
She thinks she's too good for him.
He's a mutt. She's a purebred, you know?
Okay, here's the thing.
Not from the same world.
A mutt, in a literal sense, means that a dog is comprised of several different breeds. Like my dog, Bella, she's a mutt.
Yeah.
She is part pit bull, part Labrador Retriever. That's a literal mutt. Scooby is also a purebred. He's a Great Dane.
As far as I know, he's always called a mutt, so that just, like, I assumed.
It's also kind of a negative term for a dog.
True, that's
like
fair.
Derogatory.
Dog derogatory.
My God.
Dedogatory.
Charlie.
I have to bring some happy into this episode because I don't want to be here.
Yep. Please do. It is necessary.
Yeah. Okay. I wanna know. Can I just Google Scooby-Doo mutt? Is there a reason for why he is a mutt? I want to explain this. Is it just because it's derogatory, or is it because...
That's my thought, because it's not really said that he's anything except a Great Dane.
Let's see. Scooby-Doo dog breed. It just says Great Dane.
Yeah, he's a purebred Great Dane.
Yeah, why? Okay. Something here. Let's see. One of these other Google things is like, what kind of dog is Scooby-Doo? Not just a Great Dane. Great Dane with a twist.
A twist? The twist being he's sentient? Is that the twist here? It's like, I've met several Great Danes. None of them can talk.
There's a lot of words on this page.
More words than you want to read right now?
All the positive things that make a prize-winning Great Dane, and then, like, the maker of Scooby-Doo proceeded to give Scooby all the exact opposite traits. So Scooby is the anti-Great Dane, and that's why he's a mutt.
The anti-Great Dane.
Does that make any sense? No.
How? So meaning like, okay, so you're saying like in terms of being a show dog, Scooby's not the Great Dane you want to put in for that.
Yeah, I think that's all it means, is that he's just like not...
He's just like not an attractive Great Dane.
He's just an ugly dog is what they're trying to say.
Yeah, he's just ugly.
And I'm like, bro, he's a dog. There's no way. He's like the cutest guy.
He's just a little guy. Well, he's a big guy. He's a big guy. Great Danes are big.
He's a big guy, but he's a little guy. Like,
yeah, he's a little guy.
Little guy, you can still be big and be a little guy.
Yeah.
I think, you know, like, Ethan, tell me, is Karlach not a little guy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Our fave from Baldur's Gate is definitely a little guy.
100%. 110%.
Even though she is a big, muscly woman.
And we love her for that.
It's personality is what defines little guy.
Correct. Little guy's a state of mind.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Ray for calling everyone a little guy.
Even though Ray is taller than me.
Yep. Again,
that's a little guy right there.
Hey, little guy's a state of mind, and Ray is definitely in that state of mind.
Always. Okay. So, this dog has been dognapped. We're like 2 seconds into the show.
Yep.
And Scooby's like, oh no, what am I gonna do? Goes to find the gang. Just as with, like, 2 episodes ago, the clue for Scooby-Doo? I don't remember when that was.
Yeah.
They're on the beach having a party. Again, what time of day is it?
It's, I think, nighttime? It's unclear. Either he took the scenic route to get there, or this is like right before sunset or something. I don't really know.
I'm telling you, when they light things in this show, they don't know how to do it.
Okay, Charlie, the show was made very cheaply.
Oh, yes.
So, like,
You're correct. It's
Don't hold them
early
to that
Scooby-Doo.
standard.
It's early Scooby-Doo. I just want to reiterate the fact that, like, they don't know what lighting is yet. It's 1969. There is no money in the show. I was surprised when the first scene was lit well.
Uh-huh.
I was so surprised.
Yep.
So the gang is having their typical party on the beach.
Shaggy's roasting hot dogs. Daphne and Fred are dancing, and Scooby magically knows to turn the radio from the music station to the news station.
Well, because you know Scooby, yes, he can talk, but he can't explain a whole, like, thing.
He has broken English. Like, he's still learning how to do it.
Yeah, he can only say, like, a few words.
Yeah.
And so he has to be like, this is gonna talk for me. And yeah, it's Scooby logic.
Why not?
Score 1 for Scooby logic in this episode.
We love that.
And guess what? There's dog nappings. It's happening.
Yes. Yeah, we learned this is the third dog that has been dog napped so far.
Mm-hmm. And the first dog that was dog napped, the owner is putting out, like, a prize for the return.
Yep. Interesting.
So what do? We go and visit that guy.
We do. A man with a spectacular mustache, by the way. Just a full-on pure handlebar mustache and a bowl cut because it's the 60s.
If I had a nickel for every time Ethan was just like, "Wow, that man right there, that's a good man." I like.
I said he has a good mustache. Looks. I did not say he is a good man.
No, you're like, I like how that man looks. I'm very gay. If I had a nickel for every time you did that so far in the show, I'd have 2. And it's been in the span of 2 episodes.
Hey, don't act like you wouldn't. Don't act like you wouldn't.
Listen, we haven't seen super hot ladies on this show yet, okay?
I'm taking what I can get, Charbine.
As you should. Okay. So we see this attractive man.
Mm-hmm.
He's lost his dog.
Yep.
And he's telling them about, like, all the other, like, dogs that have been lost and who might be next.
Ooh.
It's gonna be the Great Dane. Oh.
Yeah.
We're talking a lot about this Great Dane. I wonder why.
And then he says he's offering $500 as a reward. I ran through an inflation calculator.
Oh no.
So in $500 in 1969, in today's money, is $4,098.64. That's over 2 months' rent for me.
Yeah. You want some guy to pay you 2 months' rent to
Hell yeah.
find his dog?
Yeah. 719% inflation. Yikes.
Yeah, that's a lot. It's fine.
Anyway, we're trying to be happy. I'm just depressing everybody.
We hate
Moving
capitalism.
on. Yep, we do.
All right.
It's terrible.
Yeah, so Great Dane is in danger, and then he also talks about, like, because he knows this dog owner, and I think it's so funny that, oh yeah, like, he's been very careful. He only takes his dog for walks at night.
When
and
you
I pause on that.
Privilege, you can do that.
Yeah. I pause on that, even though, yes, he also does take his dog for walks by the police station. So, okay, that's probably, like, you're probably not gonna get dog napped over there. But, like, at night? Still?
Yeah, I never walk my dog at night. I just don't like doing that. Number one, because she's all black, and if she does get loose, I will not be able to find her.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
And number two, I just don't like going out when the sun's down in general.
It's because you're an anti-vampire.
Correct. I love garlic. I hate nighttime. I'm an anti-vampire.
I like nighttime and I like garlic. What does this make me?
It makes you Blade, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. we love when the laugh turns into a cough.
That's happened to me all too often the last few days.
It happens to me constantly at this point.
Rip.
Don't make me laugh. Okay.
Anyway.
So, who do you think is going to be the decoy for this dog?
I wonder. Maybe the only dog that's there.
I think it's going to be Velma.
Of course. She got that dog in her.
Just like, what are you gonna think, Scooby? Obviously, it's you.
Mm-hmm.
And then Shaggy's...
At first, Scooby wants it, though. Like, in the office, he's, like, hamming it up, trying to, act like a show dog.
I don't necessarily know if he wanted to be the decoy, but he was just like, ooh, that's another Great Dane, and he looks really cool. I want to look cool like him, Like, kind of, like, jealousy a little bit, but also, like... let me puff out my chest and be, like, real cool.
Yep.
And then it's like, Scooby, yeah, you gotta go be a decoy.
Yep.
And get kidnapped.
Yep. And then when they try to give him a Scooby snack, Shaggy steals it.
This is actually the first time Shaggy ever has a Scooby snack on the show.
I know. It's crazy.
I was like, wait a second. And he's literally just like, not bad. Like,
so he's never had a Scooby snack before that moment.
I mean,
so he doesn't know what's in a Scooby snack and he eats it anyway. Or maybe he does. I don't know.
I already read the trivia just a little bit, but like technically, if Pup Named Scooby-Doo is canon, he's already had Scooby snacks. But like this is the 5th episode of Scooby-Doo. So,
yeah.
So he's never had one.
No, not until this moment.
But he has to take one because he knows he has to walk Scooby, and then he almost takes the second one that is for Scooby.
But then Scooby learns from his mistakes and shoves Shaggy out of the way to finally get what he wanted in the first place.
So they dress Shaggy up in the most inconspicuous outfit possible.
Yep, a tan trench coat and a bowler hat.
No one would ever notice that's a teenage boy.
The teenage boy with a tiny soul patch is wearing a trench coat and a bowler hat.
It's so funny.
Just over his normal clothes, by the way.
Yes. And then we have Scooby-Doo, the anti-Great Dane, dressed up as a regular Great Dane. The dressed up is the fact that he's taken a bath and he has a fancy collar.
Yep. So they just never bathe Scooby at all? Like, that's not a great thing.
He's sentient. He can take a bath when he wants to, but he doesn't want to.
Okay, but can Scooby-Doo operate a shower? He does not have opposable thumbs.
Okay, now I'm wondering if in later Scooby-Doo media we ever see Scooby in a shower. I feel like it could happen.
No, I have no doubt it could. He just need to use like both paws. So he just go like this, like turn the faucet with both his paws together.
There's also definitely like later media where like is his paws still work like they are hands, even though they shouldn't.
So he has like 3 fingers and a thumb instead of just like the toe beans like dogs do.
Yeah, like I don't know. I feel like I'm specifically remembering the live action movie where he grabs a toilet brush. Remember? Yep. And he's like
remembering that
speaking with that. Like he's holding things like he has.
So he's holding things like I'm trying to use my 4 fingers to attempt to grab something, and it's just straight up not working. Okay, I can grab this rubber duck, but that's about it.
I love that you have a rubber duck right there.
It's a programmer thing.
It's also on brand for Ethan.
Thank you. This is a Persephone duck from Hadestown that a friend on Etsy made. Well, one of my friends ordered it on Etsy and shipped it to me for Christmas.
That's cute. I love that.
Anyway,
okay.
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Yeah, Scooby's just your friend who doesn't take baths.
Ew.
So they're out for a walk,
yep.
And Shaggy's like, you gotta act like, you gotta act like a show dog. You gotta ignore the people. So just like that other little dog ignored Scooby trying to flirt with him, he has to ignore a cute little girl dog who's trying to flirt with him. Like,
also, that does not look like any actual dog breed that exists.
No.
At all. Like,
no, it looks like a cartoon dog.
Yeah.
That's trying to look like really sassy and like a mutt of some kind. Unclear.
Yeah.
But like not a show dog. It's the dog that's supposed to look like kind of ratty.
Yes.
And because she's mad, she throws trash on them.
Which travels in a straight line directly at Shaggy.
And he catches it all in the bowler hat. He's just
Somehow.
like, nope, this is not happening. We're not bathing you again.
It's like Velma carrying everybody on her tiny little legs. Again, except all this trash fits into this tiny bowler hat.
It's fine. It's the cartoon logic.
I know, it's just funny.
Every time cartoon logic happens, like you gotta drink for it, and then you're dead by the end of the episode.
I've considered it.
As they keep going on their walk, then there's a car that's like smoking like a lot as it passes by, and no, we can't see anything. The leash is cut. Scooby is gone. Oh!
But he's making a lot of noise, which is helpful for Shaggy. So he runs over to a random gas station, and apparently he knows the guy who's working at the gas station. It's you. It's Charlie.
It's literally me. That's me in the episode. I have a cameo in 1969.
And then you give him a scooter, a Vespa, to chase after these Dognappers.
It's like the gayest vehicle to ever exist.
It really is. It really
is. If you've ever seen Luca, it's the gayest vehicle.
Oh, I have. I know how gay scooters are. I've actually considered getting the Lego one and building it.
Do it.
Eventually. I do not have the monies for that right now.
Get monies.
I'm trying, Charlie.
What you have to do is you have to go save this guy's dog.
Apparently.
And then you'll get money.
Yep, give me $4,100 for saving your dog. That'd be great.
That's it. That's all you gotta do.
Mm-hmm.
And then my next note is just racism, because this is
where it begins.
This is the beginning of the end for us. So we have a Native American on a horse, and they're doing the thing. What is that called when they?
The subtitles on the episode said "yodeling," which is close to yodeling.
Now I want to hear him yodel instead. Actually,
no. It's that like stereotypical Native.
It's a very stereotypical thing. I have no idea if this is actually a thing that is done by people or if it's just racism.
I don't know. I don't know either. It's probably a bit of both. I don't really know.
As I feel like with a lot of things with like the Native people, it's usually something that is done, but it's something that is done in a very specific context. Like like when they wear feathers on their head and stuff, that's usually like a ceremonial thing and not just a like everyday kind of wear thing.
Okay.
So,
according to the sources I'm looking at, sometimes it just really depends.
Yeah, in this context, it's being used as a battle cry, presumably.
Yes. Yeah, but the one that was doing there was a mockery of that, because apparently real tribes never like did the hand over the mouth thing.
I would assume not, because I only see in Western media people putting the hand over the mouth. I'm like, I feel like that's not how they do it. Actually,
no. According to the at least the Cherokee tribe, which is where I'm reading this, they didn't do that.
Good to know. I mean, every tribe is different. We don't know all of these things. This is a lot of we don't know, but why are you doing this, Scooby-Doo? The answer is it's 1969.
It was white men in the late 60s who did not know what they were doing.
Yeah, so we just have a generic Native American ghost that they're calling Geronimo. Why? Because
because, I guess. I don't know.
And then it scares Shaggy because it's a ghost. I mean, I'd be scared of a ghost coming toward me.
Yeah, I mean, just because it's on a horse, it's just very tall in general. I'm afraid of things that are bigger than me.
And we find out later that this is like a projection or something.
Yeah, there was a projector in the back of the truck that was putting that out.
It does look more like a ghost than the guy we see later, who I'm not as frightened of, because it's just a mask.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's just a mask. That's it.
This, I'd be like, oh, what is this thing coming towards me that's really tall? Ugh.
Yep.
That's like screaming at me, basically.
Yep.
That's a little terrifying.
Yeah, I don't like that. Moving on.
So the Dognappers find Scooby.
They
do. And they're like, what the fuck? That's not the prized Great Dane that I wanted.
But the guy who did the kidnapping is like, I don't fucking know the difference.
Like, I love that, like, the big baddie who's wearing, like, the mask is just like, oh, Mike, what did you bring for me? And, like, Mike's like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know shit about these dogs. I'm just here.
Well,
I just work here.
His reason was, like, he found him at the time and place that he was supposed to be, so he thought, oh, that's the dog.
Like, it's dark out, man.
What
do you expect from me? I just work here.
I'm just a henchman. Like, let me do my thing.
Yeah, so this is so terrifying what they end up doing to Scooby.
They put him in a crate, attach it to one of those little hand cars like you see in Westerns where you pump up and down, and send him off. Just down the tracks.
The crate is fully, like, attached to this what is this thing? Yeah, the cart. So, like, there's no way to, like, that it'll bounce off or anything, or, like, to just get it off.
It is strapped to it. There's no way he's getting off.
If they didn't, like, save him, as they do, he would just go straight into that train.
Mm-hmm.
And probably into the sea or something and die. Like... Yeah,
probably.
This is fine. This is murder.
Also,
this is
Scooby can extend a single one of his claws and cut through the wood at the top of this crate.
This is another point for Scooby-Doo logic.
Mm-hmm. I would have drunk there. I would have
usually,
had a drink.
I feel like Scooby does this with, like... I feel like wood is more solid than he usually does. It's been, like, he's done it with fog. He sometimes does it with, like, ice and such, or, like, glass.
Yeah.
But, like, wood?
Wood is more dense than any of those other things.
Like, I think it's cute when he does it when it's like fog. There's at
fog,
least one
sure.
episode where he does that, and it's
Yep.
like, oh, he makes a little window, and then the fog just like comes right back in. Like,
Yep. I mean, that's just how fog works.
Exactly.
Makes sense. Why not?
But wood? All right. So Shaggy and the gang find this spot where
Mm-hmm,
Scooby disappeared and there was a ghost. Also, these Dognappers just have an authentic ancient relic. I
don't know if Velma actually knows what she's talking about there.
It's unclear. I mean, we do see
like this child doesn't have a PhD in archaeology.
True. This child has no idea what she's talking about. But there is also like a Native American village on the side of a mountain, not too far away. So
that's actually a real.
Yeah. Do we know where that is?
So the one that I know of is the Pueblo tribe that's in like the southwest of the United States, like Arizona, New Mexico. Let me look it up.
Because I was like, that's so cool. I know I've seen stuff about stuff like that, but
yeah,
it's very interesting.
Yeah, so they live in the southwestern United States. So Pueblo is actually a name for a group of tribes.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
So there's several of them. Let's see.
You know what? Now I'm remembering where I also saw this somewhere else again. It was in another Scooby-Doo episode. So in a What's New Scooby-Doo episode, they also visit a similar Native American village like this, which I think is actually the Arizona one, like that you're thinking of. Because I think they're legit in Arizona in that episode. And they go up the mountain. There's weird stuff happening in that episode.
Yeah.
It's still not a great one, but I feel like it's not quite as badly done as this one.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how this one could be done worse.
Me neither.
All right.
Who knows?
But, like, if this is an authentic relic, maybe it's from that village over there. Or maybe Velma is just, like, talking out of her ass because she's a child.
A child that wants to sound smart, and usually she is.
Usually she knows what she's talking about, but since none of the writers know what they're talking about here, I'm gonna say that Velma probably doesn't.
No.
So Scooby nearly dies the tracks. Shaggy has to, like, jump out of the car and catch it up to him, and then wheel the thing backwards as the train is coming. And then they they find one of those things that reroutes the tracks and save them in the nick of time. This got me stressed out. Like, I know they're fine. I've seen this episode, but it still stresses me the fuck out.
No, it absolutely does. Because of how big trains are and how much time they take to do anything other than go in a straight line, they're terrifying. Like, I've personally never had to drive a train.
Really?
And I don't really want to. But, like, you see, like, so growing up, my grandma and grandpa, their house was across some train tracks. And frequently, when we would go out there, we would be stopped by trains. Those things are really, really big. Yeah. Scooby would have just been a poof of red liquid on the front of the train. That's pretty much it.
Thank you for that visual in my brain, Ethan.
I am sorry.
That was wonderful. It was like, I'm going to relate this to real life for a second, and how I jump scared some friends while I was like live streaming Baldur's Gate, playing as my Dark Urge, and I was just like, okay, I know something happens when I walk up to this squirrel. I didn't know. It just immediately happened that you kick the squirrel and there's a million things of blood all over the place. They were like, what the fuck just happened? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm sorry.
The squirrel is dead now. Good job, Charlie.
It's okay. I went to a previous save.
There you go.
But like, there was so much. That is not the amount of blood that there should be in a squirrel. Yeah. So thinking about Scooby dying violently like that, that's a little sad. That's a lot.
Sorry, this episode is very depressing, and I'm just matching the energy instead of going against it. There's
just so much happening in this episode that's just, like, not great, that we don't like.
No.
Listen, it's not enough for these Dognappers to be racist. They also have to, like, cause harm to animals.
Well, yeah, they're holding these dogs in cages and sent one down the mountain, presumably to his death.
But the dogs that they have in the cages, they're feeding them. Like, they have actual dog food for them that we see later.
That's true. They do.
I was, like, so surprised by that in the rewatch. I'm like, wait a second. You go to murder this other dog because it's not the dog you want, and then you're like feeding these other dogs like very well.
Well, because those other dogs are real show dogs, and they care more about show dogs as they're elitist little bastards.
Like, you could have easily just killed those other dogs, too.
Yeah, but that wasn't the goal. Like, and we'll get into this later.
I don't know what their goal is here.
The motivation was not to kill the other dogs. It was just to keep them away from the competition so the other dog could come in and win. Like, he wouldn't kill them. He just wanted to win.
Maybe they were also waiting to see if those people would do what what's his face mustache guy did.
Mustache Man, yeah.
Mustache Man, and like put out a big reward. Like, he's gonna hold them till after the show anyway, but like, if there's a big reward, then he can also get the money for it, like, because these people are not rich enough, clearly. Okay, so Scooby's alive.
Yes.
Everybody's okay. We made it.
Yep. Scooby and Shaggy hightail it out of there, and everything's okay.
Okay, I forgot when they found this, but they found the authentic relic a little while back, but they also find a factory-made arrow, and there's supposed to be like a comparison there to how, I don't know. It's another thing that's supposed to be a clue, and I'm like... Yeah,
a clue that, like, these people aren't actually Native Americans? Who would have thought?
No way! Alright, so we go to this really cool village, but on the side of the mountain. I would live there. That's very cool.
It is very cool.
And then Fred does one of his things. We don't get a Fred trap in this episode.
Not really.
Instead, we get Fred shooting the factory-made arrow at the side of the mountain.
No, it wasn't that one. It was a different one. It was much bigger. Much bigger.
Okay. I'm misremembering. It's okay. He shoots it.
So they found another one. Or they made one.
They found another arrow. Like...
Or they made one.
There's just a lot of arrows.
There's a lot.
Maybe it was in the back of the Mystery Machine. We don't know.
Who knows? The back of the Mystery Machine is a TARDIS, so, like, I don't know.
It's true. So they shoot that at the side of the mountain so that they can, like, do the grappling hook thing, basically.
And Scooby's like, no.
I don't know why they didn't just grab a grappling hook out of the side of the van.
I don't know either.
Like, I'm surprised.
The writers are like, we have to give Fred a trap, but it doesn't really work. What can we do? And then one of the writers was like, oh, I know. We may make a giant slingshot. Perfect.
That's what he did. He made a giant slingshot, and they climbed up. And then, of course, they keep calling him a witch doctor. And
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Okay, what is...
Like, they're mixing things here, because those, to my knowledge...
those are different things,
those
as
are
far
very
as I
different.
Know? Okay, does Witch Doctor have anything to do with Native Americans? Because I don't think it does. Let's see.
I don't think so either. It's mostly...
Africa, India...
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything from, like, Native American folklore.
I mean, to be fair, it is just a term for a folk healer.
Yeah, so, like, I mean,
just...
Native people had, like, shaman.
Yeah, I would have said
close.
Shaman.
Yeah.
Which it's just they're mixing their terminology is the problem here.
Yes, they are.
Very much. So I'm pretty sure this is not the last time we use like the term witch doctor in
probably
Scooby-Doo
not.
episode either.
Probably not. Doesn't mean I like it, but probably not.
And once again, I don't think it's for any of these other like people where it actually should be used. I'm not sure.
I don't either.
But in this episode, that's not the term that you should be using, and also I'm very confused.
So were they.
As usual. But what does he do? This guy who they keep saying is 1,000 years old is speaking perfect English. Well, guys, he's a ghost. Ghosts can learn languages if they've been around for long enough.
You fucking imagine. Like, you move into a haunted apartment in New York City with, like, an Italian immigrant died there, and their ghost starts haunting you, and they start speaking Italian just in the middle of the night.
Wouldn't that be even scarier, though, than someone who's speaking English to you? You're just hearing random, like, Italian in the middle of the night. Like, I don't know anyone who speaks Italian.
You wake up in the middle of the night and say, Buongiorno! And then you're like,
Oh, no. This is fine. This is totally fine.
Sorry to the Italians who might be listening. I don't really know.
It's me. I'm Italian.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
So this ghost, maybe he learned English. Maybe he's just not a ghost. Maybe he's just not a ghost.
Maybe it's Maybelline. Who knows?
Maybe it is. Maybe, you know what? Plot twist. It was actually Maybelline all along, guys.
God damn.
Do we have that yet as a meme? Like, not Shaggy. Fred pulling off the mask.
Yeah, we do.
And then, okay.
That happened in episode 3, I think it was.
No. Fred pulling off the mask, and then underneath it's Maybelline.
Like, God. Like the logo for Maybelline, or like
just the point is that like maybe it is Maybelline. Maybe we find out that it's actually Maybelline all along.
Maybe, you never know.
I don't know. I feel like that would be very great and very funny. Like,
anyway, moving on.
I don't know what's happening. Oh, okay. They've split up.
Yep. So Fred and Daphne go to find the quote unquote witch doctor.
They're going after the weird little dude.
The weird little guy.
And the others are in a bat cave.
Mm-hmm. Velma gets her glasses knocked off.
Of course, because there's bats everywhere. What do you think is going to happen?
And on to Scooby-Doo, nonetheless.
Yes, for maximum comedic effect, so Scooby can accidentally put on another native costume for some reason.
The fuck do I know?
So Shaggy can be like, oh no, there's another ghost! Ah!
Yep.
And then it's like, oh, it was actually Scooby. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's fine. Scooby, what are you doing with Velma's glasses?
Who knows?
It's because he has astigmatism. Leave him alone.
Scooby just needs... he needs glasses, but people don't want to give them to him. It's okay.
How would you
it's
test the dog's eyesight? Like, how would you...
No idea. It's not like they can say 1 or 2. 1 or 2.
You definitely know when a dog is blind, but how do you know if a dog's vision is not 20?
Hey, any dog optometrists out there, hit us up.
Do you even measure a dog's eyesight in 2020? Is it the same thing, or is it different?
I have no idea.
I don't know why I'm asking you these questions. I'm just...
I don't know anything.
This is what happens when my ADHD just goes on a rampage.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I just want to know things, Ethan.
That's fair. Also, Velma thinks that Shaggy and Scooby are part of a totem pole, which, like, even with my glasses off, I can tell something's made of wood.
I just think it's funny that she's just like, oh, you're petrified with fear. Oh, you're also petrified with fear. And I'm just like, babe, that's wood. That's why they're petrified.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking wood.
Yep, it's wood.
And then we go back to Fred and Daphne. This guy gives them another warning because they're in like a ceremonial building and there's a bunch of fire and it looks magical.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then, hey, look, Daphne's been kidnapped.
Dun dun dun.
No way. I never would have guessed that would happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the fact that things just happen like this, where just the ground opens up, swallows her, and then it puts the chair back.
Hey, this is how you know that all Scooby-Doo villains were tech theater at some point.
You're so right. You're so right.
Either they were theater kids themselves, they were on the crew, or like somehow circumstantially related to theater in some way.
What have they
done? Who would have thought of that?
What have they done to this village to like add in these weird little traps and like secret passageways? Like, what have they done?
Hell if I know.
I definitely don't think that the Native American people living there had this weird little trap door.
No, I highly doubt it.
Could disappear. So Daphne's gone. Fred doesn't notice shit.
Not until it's too late. Scooby finds some food somehow.
Because
he's
got a good nose.
Yeah,
he knows.
Well, he finds food that's like good to eat. That presumably is like the place where the people who were dognapping are storing all their food. Yeah,
they've got their kitchen, and then like 5 seconds later, as Shaggy's like building his giant sandwich, Scooby slides down a passageway, and look, there's the rest of their little like hideaway where the dogs are, and Daphne is.
Yep.
Yay!
Because why not? Also, do we ever figure out who shoved him down the passageway?
I totally like missed that part of it. I was just like, oh, Scooby's sliding down something. What's happening?
No, he got shoved.
Why?
I don't know.
I'm very confused.
Yeah, a hand just comes up from the wall and shoves Scooby by the ass down this passageway.
Do they think he's not an intelligent dog? Do they think they're just going to shove him down there and trap him? And that's going to work?
Maybe. What do I know?
Scooby is smarter than you all think. Okay?
He's also a coward, but
It's true.
that's
But we
a
love
little
him
different.
anyway.
Yep.
So Fred finally finds this other secret passage, and
Yep.
Velma pops up. We're all confused about what the heck is happening with these secret passageways now.
They're all connected.
And then Daphne comes up behind them both and is like, hey, look, we found the dogs.
Hooray.
Well, we gotta wrap up the episode. Like, we found the dogs. It's all good.
Yep, we found the dogs. They're all out now. Great.
And then Scooby uses his bilingual abilities to talk to the dogs.
Yep.
And be like, hey, what's happening? Who is the guy?
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't even matter who the guy is because we're just gonna go attack him.
Yep. So then we get Shaggy with one of his signature giant sandwiches.
Beautiful. Amazing. It almost gets destroyed.
By the toy poodle running into him from the very beginning of the episode.
Yep. But he saves
Shaggy
it.
unhinges his jaw like a snake and eats it all in one bite.
Yes. Yes, he does. Absolutely.
Because why not? And then everybody goes after the dogs. They slide down a ladder, and Shaggy breaks it on the way down. All the rungs of the ladder just get broken.
It's fine. It's okay. We don't need to go back up there anyway.
No, we don't. So they're sprinting after these dogs, and they corner him. He climbs up a pole of something. And who is it? It's Mustache Man.
It's Mustache Man. The dogs just all just got on top of him and
yep.
And now he's unmasked. And Scooby did the unmasking. He has a name, but doesn't matter. His name is Mustache Man.
His name is Mustache Man now.
Well, that sure is the episode. The closing of the episode is Scooby doing insensitive things.
Very insensitive.
And on to some trivia. Oh, did I come up with a fun name for the trivia section yet?
I do not remember.
I feel like...
Sadly, Charlie, according to the trivia, this is your only appearance in all of Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?
Yeah, I figured. I feel like I was going to call it Terror Time Trivia.
Maybe.
I feel like that's it.
It also says this is the only appearance of the quote-unquote witch doctor. So, yay.
At least this one.
Yes, this particular version.
Okay. He does appear in the series, the first season's opening and closing sequences.
Yep.
This is one of the few, if not the only Scooby-Doo Where Are You episode that begins with broad daylight.
Yep.
Cool. It's also this is the first time one of the gang takes a romantic interest in another character.
Wild. It's Scooby of all people.
And why does it say most appropriately it happens to be Scooby?
Yeah, why is that? Who wrote this? Why do they say this?
It's because everybody else in the gang is in a polycule and Scooby's just there because he's an animal.
Yeah, I don't think they really want to get down with the bestiality, but what do I know?
Yeah, they are not into it. And like I said, it's the first time Shaggy has a Scooby snack, but this is later contradicted in a pup named Scooby-Doo, in which he has them for the first time.
Mm-hmm. So, Shaggy roasting the hot dogs is identical to the one in A Clue for Scooby-Doo, but we knew that already.
This is the first time Daphne's kidnapped by a monster.
Okay, I thought the Hassle in the Castle one was the first time.
Yeah.
But sure.
I mean, I guess that wasn't a knowingly thing. Maybe that was an accident, because she just kind of fell through a thing. Yeah. And that one wasn't intentional. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is the first time the exposed villain reprimands the Scooby Gang for their meddling.
Yeah, but he doesn't say, curse you meddling kids.
Yeah, he does.
He says something else.
But he still curses them.
He does.
Production-wise, this is one of the rare instances, perhaps even the only time, that Scooby is on a leash!
Yep.
Chronologically, Scooby has been put on a leash in a pup named Scooby-Doo episode, Bicycle Built for Boo.
Wild. During the railroad trestle scene and close-ups of the Midnight Express train, parts of the Santa Fe Railroad logo can be seen on the locomotive. At this point, I'm just convinced that Coolsville is wherever the writers want it to be because reasons.
I mean, it's not even fully Coolsville yet. I feel like they didn't actually coin that until
Mystery Incorporated.
I feel like
something else.
The live-action movies may have coined Coolsville, unless
I'm just calling it that because
that's
what I thought it was.
No, that's what general Scooby-Doo media was. In Mystery Incorporated, it's Crystal Cove specifically.
That's right. My bad. I forgot they changed it.
I know in all of the live action, or I should say, the early 2000s live action movies, and then the Cartoon Network live action movies, it's Coolsville.
Okay.
Other than that,
that's probably where I'm getting it from then.
I don't know where Coolsville comes from, but we'll explore it
We
eventually.
shall.
The fact that the gang finds abandoned cliff dwellings being used as a hideout by the villains gives a hint as to the episode setting somewhere in the southwestern U.S.
Wild.
Thank you. This is the first time they play real
we've already been over that, but
detectives
sure.
and offer their services to someone.
Honestly, it really is. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even though they technically went to the guy who it was.
Well, like, this is the first time they're accepting, like, a job from somebody to do detective work instead of just investigating it because they were the first ones there.
They would have done it anyway.
Probably.
This is also the first time the gang decide to investigate a case that initially has nothing to do with the supernatural. Eventually, the dognapping case does become supernatural with the appearance of blah 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 blah.
Even then, not really.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, it was a ghost, kind of, but it wasn't a ghost.
Yeah. Scooby and Massville instead of Fred. The initials of the guy with the Great Dane and Mustache Man are the same.
Huh.
Snippets from this episode are repeatedly used in the opening sequence of the WrestleMania mystery.
Why?
I don't freaking know, man.
Why? Out of all of these things, why that one?
It's a great question. I do not know.
Do we do cultural references?
I don't know if we do.
We can talk about because there's not a lot.
Yeah.
Hey, look, Geronimo was a prominent leader of the. Why did I let myself do this?
Oh,
can you?
I don't know. No.
Can you pronounce this? No.
Not the first word. I just know Apache. That's it.
I was gonna say I think I know the second word.
It's Apache. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. He was an actual historical figure.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to mispronounce things on a podcast right now.
That is understandable.
Custer's last stand is a reference to the 1936 film serial, the same name. I feel like it's just...
It's also like a historical event.
Yeah, it's a historical freaking event. The film is based on the Battle of Little Bighorn in 1876, which is nicknamed Custer's Last Stand.
Yeah.
I think I first learned about General Custer from the Second Night in Museum movie.
That was where you were learning about him?
I think that's the first time I remember hearing about him. Like,
that's understandable.
He's not actually a super important figure.
No, the thing he's known for is losing.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
The witch doctor warns the gang that they will meet the fate of Spanish conquistadores. They do not leave. Spanish conquistador Francisco Vasquez de Coronado explored the southwestern United States between 1540 and 1542. He was among the first Europeans to visit the Grand Canyon, or to view the Grand Canyon. Again, that's not 1,000 years ago.
Right, that was like 500.
I'm sorry, the fact that they said multiple times in this episode 1,000 years ago natives, like,
that's just the writers not knowing anything.
It's them not being able to do math. They can't do math.
Or history, apparently.
Or history.
The Bat-2C is an infamous dance by Batman from the 60s TV series with Adam West. Wild.
Oh, okay.
That was a really popular show, so I can understand why they would put a reference to it in there.
The only good thing is that we have a random Batman reference in this episode.
This is not the only time Scooby-Doo will have Batman references in it.
This is not the first time, or this is not the only time we'll have, like, Batman in Scooby-Doo. Batman
exactly.
Batman and Scooby-Doo, they're buddies.
And we get the stereotype of scalping.
Sure. I've never actually heard of that. Okay, fun.
Be glad you didn't.
We don't like stereotyping on Mysteries in the Machine.
No, we do not. We also don't like racism, but this entire episode is racist, so here we are.
Yeah. Hey, here's a fun thing for you. Frank Welker plays me in the episode.
He plays Charlie?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We love that.
Frank Welker, the GOAT.
Truly the GOAT of Scooby-Doo.
And just, like, voice acting in general. Like, one of them for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Like him, Frank Oz, and Jim Cummings, I'd say. Probably three of the best voice actors of their generation.
Yeah. All right, Ethan. Whose side are we on for this one?
I'm on the gang side, hands down. There's no reason any of this needed to happen.
Not being racist and not wearing cultural outfits of people?
Yes, every time.
Yeah. Is this a good mystery? Despite all of the, like, actual things that happen. Like, if we put aside all of the cultural references, I feel like the actual mystery is not bad.
The mystery itself is probably the best one we've seen so far.
Like, yes, we do only see 2 or 3 people in this episode who are the gang.
One of them is you, and only for like a few seconds.
So like it is once again, it is the first person that we meet who is the person who it is. But like I don't know, it's an interesting story. I'll say that.
Yeah, except for the racism. Yes, the dog napping. It's kind of like a Hardy Boys or Nancy Drew type of plot here.
I just find it interesting that like the guy like kidnaps his own dog to like do that. Like
it's a way to like give himself a sort of alibi. It's like, why would I have done it? My dog's gone.
Yeah, that is like one of the only smart things you have done, sir.
Probably the only one.
Well, he also fed the other dogs. I'll give him that.
That's just the bare minimum.
That's fair.
Like, you're keeping these dogs alive.
He's keeping some dogs alive. He tried to kill Scooby. I'm not on his side because he tried to kill Scooby.
Yeah, anyone who tries to kill a dog, no, not on their side.
No.
Because I love my dog very much and I would hate if anything happened to her.
Yeah, Bella is great.
She is.
This sure is an episode, and
I'm glad it's over with.
I'm so glad we're done.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, all right, gang, we're gonna go split up and look for clues to our next mystery. That'll hopefully be better than this one.
Woo!
You can follow this podcast's socials at Mysteries in the Machine Pod on Instagram. You can send a message to our email, mysteriesinthemachinepod@gmail.com. Be sure to give us a rating, a review, or let your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. That really helps. You can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms. I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws.
You can find me, Ethan, on Instagram and Threads at ethan.t.hewlin. Our music was written and produced by Jason Hilton. You can find him at Negative Selections on Instagram.
I think I've had this like described to me is that how like Supernatural starts or something, and like those episodes is like something bad happens to someone and then the show just like begins, and I'm realizing Scooby-Doo started this trend. Scooby-Doo was the blueprint.
I mean, yeah, like there's a lot of things that Scooby-Doo started for a whole lot of different shows.
Scooby-Doo is the blueprint, okay?
It really is. Like, it's the blueprint for how to do a children's horror or like children's mystery franchise. Absolute peak.
Absolute peak.